Hi everybody, I'm John Castleberry. Welcome to our college basketball preview on Cox. We begin at Old Dominion, where the Monarchs are coming off a 27-win season, a CAA championship, and a trip to the NCAA tournament where they made it to the second round.
Well, what I always like about being picked to be up towards the top of the league or at the top is it gives people hope. I really don't like the word expectations, hope and possibilities. And when you've got good players that have developed over time, your ambitions about what could be possible just keep raising up a little bit. But you got to start from square one. You can't play the season backwards. And so I feel really good about the team we have. I like our mid-age guys and I like our younger guys, but of course the older guys are going to lead the way. Well, what we've done is built from the ground up. We have very good chemistry, and so these kids respect each other's abilities. One of them does this a little better than the other one, and the other one does this a little better than the other one. But when it all fits together, it's a nice mix. And these kids have experience. They've experienced success. They're all going to graduate on time. They're great friends, and they're great ambassadors for our university. Well, the thing about Gerald Lee that we will miss is he could have a great effect on a game without having a big stat sheet. His savvy, his understanding, his sacrifice to let somebody else have a big night if they're having a big night. And so that kind of glue, you got to make sure somebody else kind of becomes Elmer and glues things together. And so we've got kids that have those capabilities of picking up the pieces. And as much as you respect your players that graduate, it's just kind of a rite of passage that it's going to happen. Now, one of the things I caution people about when looking at our season is remember last year, we lost some games in December. The league race went right to the last night of the season, a semifinal that goes into overtime. But can we do those kinds of things again? You got to kind of prize what you get done and let it all kind of add up. And I do believe that once you play and beat a Notre Dame and once you play Baylor to the wire and you see that maybe they could have won the whole thing, it starts making you think of the possibilities. But you got to get there first.
Joining us now is Cal Battler, an Old Dominion Hall of Famer and a former first-round draft choice in the NBA. Cal, you do a lot of broadcasting now. You see a lot of these teams, and certainly you saw a lot of Old Dominion last year. You know what they've got coming back. How good can this year's team be compared to a team that won 27 games last year and made it to the second round of the NCAA tournament?
Well, I think a difference between this year's team and last year's team is that they've got 4 seniors leading a very young and athletic team. It's going to be very fun to watch this team sort of come together and watch this leadership grow and blossom. I think this team could be very good and potentially one of the best teams in ODU history. They're very athletic. They've got great leadership ability. And, when you mesh those two things together, on a team that was already very good, right, very, very big, very strong, and very well coached, really the potential is unlimited.
The sky could be the limit with this ball club. They'd lost Gerald Lee, they lost Marsha Neely. That was it. They've got some tremendous players coming back, especially up front.
The front line is very good. Frank Cassell returning as a senior now, very strong animal on the inside defensively and on the glass, just really cleans it up down low. Keon Carter coming back now, really worked hard over the summer, a great athlete and can shoot the ball to the three-point line. Ben Finney does it all, just a nose for the ball, good defender, gets offensive rebounds, and just that guy that everybody wants to have on the team, just always around the ball. They've just got Kent Bazemore, who's everywhere,
very incredibly athletic.
And then they've got this kid from Texas, Ross, that comes in as one of the best athletes I've ever seen, is going to be a monster, keeping him off the glass and blocking shots and out in transition, making some impressive highlights. I mean, it's going to be a little bit of a different team mixed with the old, strong, right, well-coached team that we've always seen.
You're doing a lot of broadcasting now, so you see a lot of the rest of the league. Who amongst the rest of the CAA contenders do you see as challenging Old Dominion? Because the Monarchs won the regular season and the tournament last year.
Well, Coach Larinaga always has George Mason at the top of the mix, and I expect to see that again. VCU will be strong. They've got a good recruiting class coming in. They did lose Larry Sanders, but I think they'll be able to pick up some of the slack and be right there. You know what? But I think, I won't say the surprise of the league because I think they're expected to be good, but I think James Madison is going to be very, very good. They've got the guys that have been hurt the last year are going to be back and strong and hungry and ready to play, and mix that with some of the young guys that are there and been working over the summer. JMU is going to be in the hunt and ready to play this year.
Should be a lot of fun watching how the league evolves over the time.
Absolutely.
One team that we didn't mention there, but certainly was the surprise team last year. They had a great regular season, took the Monarchs all the way to the championship game up in Richmond. That's the Tribe of William and Mary. And earlier we got a chance to talk to Tony Shaver about what he expects from this year's squad.
Well, we're excited about the season. We obviously lost a lot. We lost 4 seniors and 3 guys that started almost their entire career at William and Mary. So heavy losses, but I think the thing we're excited about is our young players. Time will tell whether I'm accurate or not on this, but I do think our young players are the most talented that I've had at William and Mary during my time there. So we think there are guys in place. We think we can have a good basketball team this year. We have only one senior on the ball club in Marcus Kitts, who had a sensational second half of the season, so he'll have to lead us, but our junior class is very strong with Quinn McDowell, John Mark Ludwig, that had a lot of playing time. Quinn obviously was a CAA Player of the Year, or excuse me, All-Conference player. But our young guys, even our freshmen last year that are currently sophomores, are going to be good players. Kyle Gaillard, Matt Rum, guys who had played 5 to 15 minutes last year, are going to be ready to step up for us this year. But I think it's going to be a core of 3 or 4 teams at the top that'll be probably battling for that championship. It was a scary statistic that I saw the other day that 74% of the starters in the league are back this year, and I believe out of the 12 teams, 8 have got 4 or 5 starters back. So it's obviously a very experienced league this year, and I think the league will be just like it's been every other year. It's going to be very difficult from top to bottom to win ball games in, and the team that wins on the road will probably be the team that finishes at the top of the league.
At George Mason, the dean of the CAA coaches, Jim Larinaga, is looking forward to his Patriots once again being a factor in the league race right to the end.
Well, first of all, I thought in January we played real good basketball. And then in February, our young team kind of collapsed a little bit. I think felt the pressure playing a better opponent, stronger opponents, some of the teams that were going to finish in the top 2 or 3 in the league in February. And we gained a lot of valuable experience that hopefully will help this team play much better and much more consistently throughout the year. Well, we've got our entire starting 5 back. In fact, we've got almost all of our bench and our entire team from last year. We only graduated Lewis Birdsong in the senior class. So our guys are very, very anxious to get back and be competitive and fight for the conference championship again and get to the NCAA tournament. I think the league is very, very strong at the top. I would not be surprised to see a league fight like we saw back in 2006, where 3 or 4 teams are almost dominant because of their size and experience and talent. But sometimes those teams that are not picked in the top 3 or 4, they sneak up on you. Last year we had a team like William and Mary come out of nowhere and have a sensational season. So there'll be someone like that again. Well, we got Isaiah Tate and Cam Long. Cam has been an all-conference player throughout his career. I think he's headed towards a sensational senior year. And Isaiah Tate, I think, really has improved during the course of his career, and I think he's looking forward to having his best season yet.
At VCU, second-year coach Shaka Smart has to deal with the loss of Larry Sanders to the NBA, but he has a solid squad returning led by senior guard Joey Rodriguez.
Well, I'm really excited about the season. We got a great group of guys coming back, and then we got 6 new players that bring a level of talent and competitiveness to our group. So it's a really good mix. Practice is going really well so far. I have really high expectations for our group. We're going to play the same way. We're going to press just as much, if not more. We're going to play just as fast offensively as we did last year. I think that really fits who we have. Just the nature of losing a player like Larry, I think, makes you a little bit more perimeter-oriented. But we do have a very, very talented inside player in Jamie Skeen, who I think you'll see step up quite a bit this year. Yeah, Joey had a phenomenal junior year, and we're excited because we think he can have an even better senior year. And this year is all about leadership. It's all about doing whatever it takes to affect our team winning. And Joey understands that, whether it's on the defensive end, whether it's providing vocal leadership, or whether it's putting the ball in the basket. I think he's willing to do whatever he needs to do. I think it's going to be a competitive year in the league. I think there's quite a few teams that can compete for the championship, us certainly being one of them. But I think when you have a conference that has, I think, 3/4 of its starters back, then you're going to have a wide variety of teams that can knock each other off on any given night.
And this could be the year James Madison returns to prominence. If they do, head coach Matt Brady thinks Denzel Bowles will lead the way.
Now that we're going into year 3, we have a roster full of players that we really like. I think anytime you undertake a new program, there's a transition where you have some guys you haven't recruited, you don't know very well, you don't know what they're capable of doing, and now going into year 3, we feel really confident with the guys that we have are a group of guys that can get us to the top third in the league, and if we're healthy, we feel really eager to try and prove that point this season. Denzel statistically had as good a year as anybody in the conference last year. As a returning second-team All-League player, he was the leading scorer, leading rebounder, and third in the country in field goal percentage offense. So what we need from him, however, is not necessarily to improve those numbers, but to improve his effort and his physical fitness at the other end of the court. We need him to be a much better defensive player in order for our team to do really well. We have 2 returning stars from last year, but we also welcome back 2 other players, Devon Moore and Andre Semenov, that missed all of last season due to injury. So really we have 4 guys that have been in our program that we think are stars, and then Ben Louie is another guy who was a part-time star last year that returns to us as a senior wing kind of utility player for us, play a number of different positions. And I think we welcome to campus 5 really significant new players that can help us, only one of which we won't have the opportunity to play this year because they'll be sitting. So we love the mix of returning players, returning starters, and then new guys we brought back to campus.